When I was a young child, I loved having my mom read to me before I fell asleep at night. This was how I first became interested in reading. I would memorize the stories she read me before bedtime, and before long I couldn't wait to try reading on my own. The first book that I learned to read on my own was Go Dog Go. Because of my interest in this book, I began to pick up other Dr. Seuss stories. Before long, I was reading more complex stories, such as Are You My Mother?, Green Eggs and Ham, and eventually Oh, the Places You'll Go. My reading really began to improve in the 3rd grade. My favorite book series was the Junie B. Jones books. I would sit and read these easy chapter books until I had the stories nearly memorized. My favorites were Junie B. Jones and the Stupid Smelly Bus, and Junie B. Jones' Cheater Pants. I used the summer as a time to improve even more with my literacy skills. My mom would take me to the Baldwin Library where we would check out my favorite books. By the end of the summer, I had read so many books that my name was on the wall of the library for being one of the top summer readers. In 4th grade, we were placed into reading groups based on reading ability. I was placed into the middle level where we read the Nancy Drew mystery books. Many of my friends finished reading at a faster pace than I did. That's when I started to get frustrated with reading in school. In middle school, our teachers introduced the accelerated reading program. Each student had to take a test to see what reading level they were. Then they had to read books and take quizzes to earn points. By that time, I was so frustrated with reading that I took the quizzes on the Harry Potter books because I had seen all the movies. Once I moved up to the high school, I started reading more novels for my English classes. We read books like The Great Gatsby and Lord of the Flies. Although I liked some of the books, others were not my favorite. I began to dislike reading because of the books they required us to read in school. During my junior year, things changed. I began to read chapter books for enjoyment, and reading soon became one of my favorite hobbies. Besides the books that I was required to read for my English classes, I also read The Fault in Our Stars by John Green and 19 Minutes by Jodi Picoult. John Green is now one of my favorite authors. Since I've come to CMU, my reading material has changed a lot. Marketing and art history textbooks have replaced the novels that I once read in English class. Although these books may be boring at times, I know that they will help me succeed in my classes. Throughout the years, my literacy skills have only grown. I went from a small girl reading stories with her mother before bedtime to a college freshman reading difficult textbooks. Reading has always been a part of my life. Through many different experiences, I have continued to improve this skill, which I use in my everyday life.